Stereotyping is a theory that explains that members of one group attributing characteristics to members of another group. These attributions typically carry a positive or negative evaluation. You can also explain this term as a widely held but fixed and oversimplified image or idea of a particular type of person. A great example of this is that a lot of Western people think that Japanese people only eat sushi all day, or don't like it when people enter their personal space. Culture shock is the occurrence of anxiety, confusion, and doubts that appears when entering a new culture which is totally different than your own, especially when you enter this culture without proper preparation. Things that cause a culture shock may differ, from the food you have never seen before in your life to the way of communicating, and even the architecture may shock you. Power distance is a term that focuses on the way people from a certain cultural background view power relationship between people. Power is divided unequally, and people who may not have power at all still accept it. In individualistic states like the Netherlands, the power distance is low, and in collectivized states like Japan, the distance tends to be higher. Teachers won't communicate with students on a personal level in Japan like they do in the Netherlands.
Well, as far as I've heard, I don't think so. I've heard that the power distance between teachers and students is still very, very high. The power distance, I don't know, I think it gets higher the more you go towards east. Students still have to stand up when the teacher goes in the classroom, and you're also not supposed to talk. There are still punishments and stuff like that.
I think, yeah, depends on the teacher, but I think it's possible.
No, I really don't think so. I think they're pretty respectful towards their teachers. It's not like here that we can call them just with their first name. Yeah.
I think it depends, like, maybe it's more difficult because like their culture is different, the way they think, they talk. But it depends if the teacher, there's some teachers that are more like interactive with international students, so I think it depends on what the teacher
It's
does.
a hard one. I maybe think so if there's some big issues, but I don't think with a little thing you can go to your teachers. But
I would say again it depends on the case, but yeah, in general, I guess.
Would you ask for help or?
Not that fast.
As far as I know, personal problems you keep to yourself and you deal with it, right?
Teacher is always right, so you cannot ask question or against two teachers, and teachers always men, and they can give a punishment for student, of course, but what teachers does is always right. To be formal always, you have to use the polite words always, else the teacher will be angry with you and you're gonna get punishment.
Could you ask them for personal help with personal issues?
Never. It's private thing and you have to be separated public and private thing. So teacher and student, it's in the public. The private issue is always private, so you have to solve by yourself.
I think they, why not, if I am like, more sociable and like make friends more quickly, and when they see that I'm open-minded, and I'm more like interactive, I think that, yeah, it's easy.
I think so.
I think they would be curious about me if I would go there for an exchange. But still, because they have so different traditions, it would be hard to really get close to them, probably.
Well, I think so. I mean, I don't see them as a very social people, but I know that I'm social and I know that I can squeeze myself in. I think I'm gonna have a rougher time making friends.
Japanese always accept foreigners very fast, but the thing is, they accept you because they want to have a relationship with you. Because in Japan, having a foreign boyfriend or girlfriend is a status and they think it's cool. And after that, they want to live in foreign country. That's why they are so nice to you. That's it.
You said you had a Dutch boyfriend. How do your parents think about that?
Good question. My mother loves him, but my father is against to it because he's foreigner, and even he does speak a little bit Japanese, but my father still doesn't accept him as my boyfriend. He always expects me to have Japanese boyfriend to be normal, because in Japan, being normal and is the most important thing.
I think that they will stay like even longer maybe than after the college. So I think that they spend more time in Japan. I think that most of them, maybe not all of every single one, but 90%, let's say, they may expect like good results from their kids, or they have better future because their culture is like this. They're like known as more like developed people, smart people. Yeah, so I guess that they will ask them for.
I think there's way more pressure on kids over there in Japan than here. Yeah. Because I think like I have the picture of Japan as like a really success-orientated country. They're working hard, so yeah, if you want to get a good job, you probably have to get good grades and a good education.
Well, I think it's pretty known that in Asia and especially Japan, there's just a lot of high expectations for children from parents.
I think they would stay at their parents' house. Yes. In Romania, they demand from us pretty much as well. Is that culture of good grades. Doesn't matter how you get them. And I think in Japan is that as well. There are also loads of jokes on the internet, but let's not talk about that.
As far as I know and what I've heard about is that like the parents are really strict about school of their children, so they have really high expectations and are really serious about that.
90% of them are still living with parents, but I didn't wanna and moved to another city. That's why I lived alone. But almost every time you decide which university you're gonna study, always depends on where you live, because it costs a lot, and if you are poor or normal family, you can't afford it. That's why you have no choice.
Do parents expect high results from their children in school?
Yes, definitely, because to get a good job, you have to graduate from public university, and to go to good public university, you have to graduate from good high school. To go to good high school, you have to graduate from junior high school.
Well, I know that I believe that in school where they accept exchange students, their students have a pretty good level of English. And I also, like in a country where technology is so advanced, they would have to know English. So I don't think it's going to be very hard.
No, I think that their English should be fine because they're like international country. I mean, a lot of tourists, it's touristic destination. So I think that their level of English is on high level, so it's easy.
Actually, my school in Germany did a Japanese exchange once, and I mean the English is alright, but the accent is pretty strong usually, so sometimes you have difficulties to understand them.
I don't think it's weird because this is their culture and this is what they eat. So I would try I would try to see how the taste is, and I would try to accept it and get used to it.
I'm sorry to say that, but the English is so bad. Because we start learning English from first junior high school, which is 13 years old, which is too late. And what we learn is like, this is a pen. My name is Emmy. There is an apple. Those kind of stuff. So this is not practical, and we don't use English in public place. No one speaks English. Everyone speaks in Japanese, and we don't have the opportunity to listen English. Like on TV in the Netherlands, you can watch the BBC or English programs on TV, but in Japan you have to pay for it, and they don't wanna. That's why we have no opportunity to learn English.
Well, I was always the one that tried the cultural things, so traditional food, traditional drinks, everything.
I think I would try it. Just maybe out of respect, just give it a try. Yeah.
It would be quite impolite just not to eat it. I don't know, maybe I would tell them that I just can't eat it, but like in a friendly way.
Probably. I'd probably eat it, but it's weird and yeah, but I'd eat it.
You would just try it for them.
Yeah, and for myself, see what it tastes like.
I don't think that's weird. I mean, if you would give me spiders, I think I would deny it. But no. I think I would try it. Yeah.
It's really expensive. I think it's so strange. It's just why only whale? I mean, it's same fish, and we eat shrimp, we eat the cabeling, we eat squid. Why only whale? I don't understand it. I don't agree with it. But still, we have to fit the international society.